Welcome all to the channel. Please like, subscribe and comment. This work features themes of political intrigue, violence, tension and Japanese fantasy. Disclaimer: I do not own the characters and world of the Naruto Shippuden and Boruto series. Please support the official release. What if Fugaku was 5th Hokage? Uchiha Flame from Dusk Till Dawn Part 2. Chapter 5. The Phoenix's Ascent. The Serpent's Lair. The air in Orochimaru's hidden lab reeked of formaldehyde and decay, the walls lined with glass tanks containing grotesque hybrids, Uchiha eyes grafted onto serpentine bodies, twitching in silent agony. Fugaku's Sharingan glowed crimson as he surveyed the horrors, Makoto at his side, her face a mask of controlled revulsion. A dripping pipe echoed like a heartbeat, and somewhere in the shadows, a distorted voice whispered, "Welcome home, Hokage-sama." Enko's torment. In a dim cell slick with condensation, Enko Mitarashi lay unconscious on a rusted gurney, her neck branded with the cursed seal, a jagged, three-tomo pattern oozing dark chakra. Fugaku knelt beside her, his fingers hovering above the mark. The seal pulsed like a second heartbeat, tendrils of inky energy snaking toward his hand. "A failed vessel," Makoto murmured, her voice tight. She brushed Enko's sweat-drenched hair from her face. Orochimaru's experiments always leave scars. But this is a wound in her soul. Not just a wound, Fugaku said coldly. A weapon, one he meant to detonate within our walls. He stood, gesturing to an Anbu operative. "Secure her. Sedate her if she wakes. We'll purge this poison once the medics dissect its design." As the Anbu lifted Enko, her eyelids fluttered. "Sensei," she slurred, mistaking Fugaku's silhouette for Orochimaru's. Makoto's jaw tightened. Kino's resurrection. Deeper in the lab, where the air tasted metallic and wrong, a boy no older than 12 stood chained to a damp stone wall. His wrists were raw from struggling, gnarled wood sprouting from his palms like twisted saplings. Fugaku recognized the Hashirama-like cells writhing beneath his skin, pale, fibrous tendrils that pulsed with forbidden life. "Would release, in a child," Makoto whispered, her maternal instincts warring with disgust. The boy's vacant eyes tracked them, his lips moving soundlessly. Fugaku sliced the chains with a fire-coated kunai. The boy collapsed, coughing up phlegm and blood. "Kino, my name is Kino," he rasped, as if reciting a mantra beaten into him. "No longer," Fugaku said, hauling him upright. The boy's skeletal frame trembled. "You are Yamato now. Konoha will decide your fate, but I'll see that cage of yours rebuilt into a shield." Makoto pressed a canteen to Yamato's lips. "Drink." Slowly, her Sharingan flickered, not in threat, but assessment. A child soldier, she realized. Just like Itachi will be. The abomination. At the lab's heart, a vat bubbled with viscous green fluid. Inside floated a clone of Fugaku, its face half melted into serpent scales, Sharingan eyes spinning madly. The clone's mouth stretched into a silent scream, Uchiha DNA warring with Orochimaru's mutations. Makoto gagged. "A mockery of our blood. Our family." Fugaku's Amaterasu erupted without warning, black flames devouring the vat. The clone's scream echoed through the lab as it dissolved. "Burn it all," he ordered, flames reflected in his eyes. "Leave no trace of this heresy." As the lab burned, Makoto lingered on a charred scroll, a genealogy chart linking Uchiha and Senju bloodlines. She tucked it into her sleeve. The Council's Reckoning. The council chamber buzzed with tension, afternoon light filtering through bulletproof windows to cast jagged shadows. Fugaku strode in, Orochimaru's research scrolls slamming onto the table. Danzo's empty seat gaped like a missing tooth. Demotion of the elders. Kaharu. Homura. Fugaku's voice cut through the silence. "Your roles are now confined to judiciary oversight and treasury advisement. No more extracurricular influence." Kaharu's teacup cracked, tea seeping into the wood like poison. "You overreach, Uchiha. We shaped this village before you could light a spark." Fugaku unrolled a scroll, its contents detailing their covert meetings with Danzo, dates, locations, coded messages decrypted by Shikaku. "You'll retain your titles, your pensions, but cross me again, and the people will decide if treason deserves mercy." Homura adjusted his cracked glasses, hands trembling. "Hiruzen would never." "Hiruzen is gone," Fugaku said coldly. "And his failures nearly buried us all." The new guard, Shibi Aburame, stepped forward, beetles humming beneath his high collar. "Administration advisor. My kin will root out corruption. Even the kind that burrows deep." A beetle crawled onto the scroll, devouring a drop of spilled tea. "Shikaku Nara, lounged in Danzo's former seat, smirking. Strategic advisor. Suna and Iwa won't know what crippled them. Though I'd prefer naps to paperwork. Hiyashi Hyuga bowed stiffly, his Byakugan avoiding Kazashi's gaze. Envoy to nobles and commoners. The Hyuga will bridge the divide. His clipped tone betrayed his resentment, honor-bound to serve the man who freed his clan's slaves. Kazashi, now leading the Konoha guard, stood at attention by the door. The ghost of his caged bird seal lingered on his forehead, a pale scar only visible in certain light. The defector's gambit. Nono Yakushi knelt in interrogation room 3, her root mask shattered at her knees. Her hands, still trembling from withdrawal, clutched a photo of a silver-haired boy. His name is Kabuto, Danzo threatened him. I'll tell you everything, just don't let that monster near my son. Makoto's mercy. Makoto reviewed Nano's file, a medic turned spy, her loyalty fractured by maternal love. She'd sabotaged route missions to protect Kabuto, leaving false trails in Konoha's forests. You'll run a new orphanage, Makoto decreed, sliding a map across the table. North District, near the old Uchiha training grounds. Care for children of strategic interest. Fail, and Kabuto pays the price. Nano's tears dripped onto the Hokage's seal. Thank you, Lady Uchiha. As Nono left, Makoto's gaze drifted to a surveillance scroll, a live feed of Naruto at the orphanage, hurling mashed potatoes at a caretaker. His laughter echoed through the crystal ball. Naruto's future. The Jinchuriki, Nono whispered, lingering at the door. He's resilient, like Kabuto. Makoto's Sharingan flashed. Resilience isn't enough. Ensure he survives, thrives, or your son's resilience will be tested next. The Toad Sage's return. Jiraiya leaned against the Hokage's desk, smirking until Fugaku slid Tsunade's dossier forward. Her photo, a younger, fiercer version, stared back, Senju crest gleaming on her headband. Bring her back, Fugaku ordered. The village needs her healing, and her bloodline. Jiraiya's humor faded. She's not a prize to collect, Fugaku. The Senju name is a chain around her neck. And Orochimaru covets that chain, Fugaku countered. He'll use her to resurrect Hashirama's power. Will you let him? Jiraiya pocketed the dossier, his voice uncharacteristically grave. For Minato's sake, I'll try. But she'll hate you for this. Let her hate me, Fugaku said. So long as she lives to do it. Epilogue. Shadows Reborn. In a rain-soaked cave deep in the land of sound, Danzo watched. Orochimaru grafted a stolen Sharingan into his bandaged arm. The eye, still fresh from a root corpse, spun wildly before settling. Fugaku's reign ends with his children, Danzo said. Itachi's mind, Sasuke's eyes, they'll unravel him. Orochimaru licked his lips, a vial of Tsunade's stolen blood glowing in his palm. And the Senju princess? Shall I prepare a welcome party? Danzo's remaining eye glinted. Let Jiraiya chase ghosts. Our war is here. Outside, a root agent disguised as a merchant slipped into Konoha, his cart laden with toys and poisons. Among them, a stuffed fox with sewn-shut eyes. The unseen threads. Makoto stood at the orphanage's gates, watching Nono herd children indoors. Naruto lingered behind, poking a beetle with a stick. He'll be safe with her, Fugaku said, appearing beside her. Safe? Makoto's voice trembled. He's a target, just like our sons. Fugaku's hand brushed hers, a rare public gesture. Then we'll target his protectors first. As they left, Nono met Naruto's eyes. Bedtime, troublemaker. But I'm not tired, Naruto protested, even as his yawn betrayed him. Nano's smile didn't reach her eyes. Tomorrow's another day, for both of us. Final line. As Makoto tucked Sasuke into bed, Fugaku stood atop the Hokage monument, the village's lights flickering like fireflies. Somewhere in the dark, Itachi practiced shuriken jutsu, Shisui's laughter echoing off training posts. Burn bright, Fugaku whispered. Burn long, Chapter 6, The Weight of Legacy. The Hokage's reflection. The third Hokage's private garden was a relic of a gentler era, stone lanterns moss-covered, koi ponds stilled by winter's touch. Hiruzen Sarutobi knelt by the water, feeding crumbs to skeletal fish that surfaced like ghosts. Fugaku stood behind him, the fifth's cloak stark against the muted grays of the decaying sanctuary. The air smelled of damp earth and nostalgia, a stark contrast to the metallic tang of power that clung to Fugaku's office. A mentor's praise. You've done what I could not, Hiruzen said, voice frayed with age. His fingers trembled as they scattered crumbs, the fish darting in frantic circles. Unified the clans. Broken Danzo's grip. Even Orochimaru flees your shadow. Fugaku's Sharingan traced the wrinkles on Hiruzen's hands, veins like cracked ink, the hands that once wielded the Monkey King's staff with godlike precision. Unity is fragile. Danzo's roots run deeper than burned labs. Hiruzen chuckled, a dry rasp. Humility. From you, the man who declared war on tradition, your hand at the council's throat. I named my son after your father, Fugaku said stiffly, the admission foreign on his tongue. Sasuke carries his name. His legacy. I won't let my pride poison that. Hiruzen turned slowly, joints creaking, his eyes sharp beneath sagging lids. Then ask. The request. Teach me, Fugaku said, the words ash on his tongue. Not politics. Not war. How to endure. How to wear this cloak without letting it strangle what I swore to protect. Hiruzen's smile was bittersweet. He pressed a weathered scroll into Fugaku's hand, Minato's handwriting looping across the seal. Start with this. Your predecessor's regrets. His fears. The things he wrote when the village slept. Fugaku unrolled the scroll slightly. The 9 tails inside her. I dream the beast breaks out moments before she can smile at the baby. Can I save Kushina? Can I save the baby? Who do I choose between the 2? Or 3? The village comes first. Minato's words bled into the paper, ink smudged by what might have been tears. He doubted. Hiruzen murmured. As you will. As I did. The hat is heavy, Fugaku. But it's the heart. Beneath that cracks first. The prodigy's burden. The academy courtyard buzzed with the shrieks of children, kunai thudding into targets with the erratic rhythm of inexperience. Itachi Uchiha stood apart, a shadow in sunlight, his practice dummy reduced to splinters. At 10, he was a specter among peers, smaller, younger, deadlier. His classmates edged around him, whispers trailing like smoke, freak. Demon eyes. Gentle prince. Shisui's taunt. Still here, prodigy. Shisui Uchiha leaned against a cherry blossom tree, arms crossed, smirk sharp as a kunai. Petals clung to his wild hair, a mockery of innocence. Even I made Genin at 9. What's your excuse? Daddy's favoritism. Itachi's shuriken clipped Shisui's ear, drawing a bead of blood. You talk too much. Their spar blurred, Shisui's speed a hurricane, Itachi's precision a scalpel. When Itachi pinned him with a kunai to his throat, Shisui laughed, breathless. See, overdue. You're wasted here. The father's expectation. That night, Fugaku stood in the Uchiha training grounds, watching Itachi dismantle a squadron of Makoto's clones. The boy's movements were flawless, economical, no wasted energy, no flourish. Like a machine, Fugaku thought, pride and unease twisting in his gut. Enough. Fugaku tossed a mission scroll. You graduate tomorrow. Team assignments are unconventional. Itachi caught the scroll, his face impassive. Who? Jiraiya-sama. Fugaku's tone brooked no argument. Yamato of the guard, and your cousin, Izumi. Itachi's brow twitched, the closest he came to surprise. Izumi is undisciplined, and you are, too, disciplined, Fugaku countered. Jiraiya will teach you to bend. Yamato, to endure. Izumi, he paused, she reminds you that we are human. Even Uchiha, who knows, in a couple years you might thank me. Fugaku chuckled at a confused Itachi. The Senju's defiance. Tsunade Senju stormed into the Hokage's office like a typhoon, Jiraiya trailing like a scolded dog. Her fist cratered the desk, sending scrolls cascading to the floor. You arrogant bastard, you think you can chain me to this graveyard? To these ghosts? Fugaku's gambit. Fugaku didn't look up from his reports. Chain you? No, I'm offering a trade. Run the hospital, rebuild the health and research divisions. Take 1 month's leave yearly, no questions. Refuse, and I'll have Jiraiya drag you back every quarter. Tsunade's chakra spiked, cracks racing up the walls. The portrait of Hashirama trembled on its hook. Or what? You'll kill me. Try it, pup. I'll bury you in the rubble. Fugaku met her glare, his Sharingan spinning slowly. You'll wish I had. The Senju name still holds weight. How long before Orochimaru digs up your brother's bones to puppet? Before he stitches your grandmother's cells into another abomination? Silence. The name, Orochimaru, hung like a corpse between them. Tsunade snatched the contract, her voice a venomous whisper. Fine, but I want a liquor budget. And a damn raise. The unspoken wound. As she turned to leave, Fugaku added, the Hyuga clan as well my own will be providing promising candidates to serve as your assistants and students. They will be the legacy of your endeavors. Tsunade froze. That's low, Uchiha, even for you. War is low, Fugaku said. But you'll save more lives with them than without. The spy master's new toys. Jiraiya's new office reeked of ink, indecency, and the faint musk of toad summons. Torn manuscripts cluttered the desk, hiding coded maps of tea countries' brothels. Yamato stood rigid by the door, Itachi beside him, and a girl with wild raven hair, Izumi Uchiha, her Sharingan already flickering at 12. The team, Yamato, would release, useful for infrastructure. His voice flat, eyes haunted by lab-born nightmares. Itachi, silent, analyzing exits, threats, Jiraiya's tells. Izumi, grinning, twirling a kunai. Cousin Itachi, ready to show these old men how it's done. Jiraiya slumped in his chair, a half-empty sake bottle in hand. Espionage. Babysitting. What's next? Diaper duty. I didn't sign up for this. Fugaku tossed him a scroll sealed with the daimyo's crest. Your first mission, infiltrate tea country. The daimyo's court has rats, and a personal request for your expertise. Jiraiya perked up, scanning the scroll. Personal, huh, the daimyo's wife, perhaps. A scandalous rendezvous. She's a fan of your literature, Fugaku deadpanned. Try not to start a war. Or a second family. The lesson begins. As Fugaku left, Jiraiya leaned back, eyeing his team. Alright, brats. Rule 1. Spies don't exist. Rule 2. If you're caught, I don't know you. Rule 3. Izumi interrupted, grinning. Always have an exit plan. Jiraiya smirked. Always pack extra underwear. Yamato's stoicism cracked, a flicker of a smile. Itachi sighed. Epilogue. Roots in the dark. In a bunker beneath Konoha's sewers, Danzo studied a blood-stained map of the village. A root agent knelt, reporting Tsunade's return, Jiraiya's team, Itachi's promotion. The Uchiha grows bold, Danzo mused, tracing the Uchiha compound's outline. But children make fragile pawns. On the wall, a portrait of young Hiruzen smiled, a reminder of futures snuffed, of heirs molded and discarded. A new scroll lay open, its contents chilling. Project Izanami, Phase 1 initiated. Chapter 7. The Crucible of Fire. The Professor's Lesson. The third Hokage's training grounds lay hidden in a forgotten corner of Konoha, shielded by ancient seals that hummed with the whispers of past battles. Fugaku stood across from Hiruzen, the morning sun casting long shadows over the scorched earth. The air crackled with unspent chakra, the weight of legacy pressing down like a physical force. First spar. The flaw in the flame. Hiruzen struck first, his staff a blur. Fugaku parried with a kunai, fire wreathing his free hand. Fire release. Great dragon flame. The inferno roared, devouring the space between them, only to choke on a sudden whirlwind of gray ash. Ash style. Burial embers, Hiruzen intoned. The flames died, smothered by suffocating dust. Fugaku staggered, coughing. Predictable, Hiruzen said, leaning on his staff. Uchiha fire is fierce but singular. Like a wildfire, it consumes, but lacks control. Fugaku's Sharingan narrowed. Then teach me control. The gift of Ashwood. Hiruzen tossed Fugaku a long, gnarled staff, its surface etched with Senju clan symbols. Hashirama's Ashwood staff. It absorbs chakra, stores it, and returns it tenfold. A crutch for now, a weapon later. Fugaku gripped the staff, feeling its pulse. A Senju relic. Why trust me with this? Hiruzen's smile was weary. Because you'll need more than fire to survive what comes. The weapon's evolution. Weeks later, Fugaku stood in the Uchiha clan's forge, the Ashwood staff glowing red-hot under a smith's hammer. A spearhead of chakra-conductive obsidian fused to its tip, veins of molten gold swirling within the blade. Hiruzen's challenge. In the training yard, Fugaku spun the spear, flames coiling around its length. Hiruzen deflected with his staff, ash swirling. Combustion style. Ignition burst. The air detonated, hurling Fugaku backward. Again, Hiruzen barked. Fire is rage. Ash is patience. Combine them. Fugaku channeled chakra into the spear. The ashwood glowed, siphoning his flames into its core. With a roar, he unleashed a spiraling inferno. Fire release. Phoenix vortex, the attack sustained and guided by the staff's stored energy. Hiruzen grinned. Now you're learning. The summoning pact. Deep in the forest of death, Fugaku sliced his palm, blood sizzling on a scroll marked with feline runes. Smoke erupted, and from it emerged a panther-sized cat with fur like molten copper and eyes like smelted iron. Behind her stood a clan of smaller cats, their claws glinting like razors. The Soraku matriarch, Uchiha, the cat hissed, voice a blend of purr and blade sharpness. My kin do not serve fools. Prove your worth. Fugaku ignited his spear, flames licking the air. I seek allies, not servants. Fight beside me, and I'll feed your fires with the blood of my enemies. The matriarch lunged. Fugaku parried, fire meeting claw. After a dance of sparks and snarls, she pinned him, her breath hot on his face. Clever, for a monkey. Call us when the hunt begins. Team Jiraiya, bonds forged in chaos. Mission 1, the Tea Country debacle. Jiraiya's team crouched in a tea country brothel, eavesdropping on a daimyo's treasonous whispers. Izumi gagged on her disguise, a frilly maid's outfit. This is humiliating. Yamato deadpanned, you look functional. Itachi, posing as a pianist, played a dissonant tune to mask their chatter. Jiraiya, disguised as a wealthy merchant, flirted shamelessly with the daimyo's wife. Darling, your beauty could melt glaciers, or fund rebellions. The mission ended in a rooftop chase, Izumi's fireballs igniting laundry lines as cover. Mission 2, the Bandit King's Lair. In a mountain fortress, Yamato's would release pinned bandits to walls. Itachi dismantled traps with surgical precision, while Izumi dueled their leader, a hulking brute with a grudge against Konoha. You Uchiha think you're gods. The bandit spat, swinging a spiked chain. Izumi's Sharingan spun. No, just better. Her kunai found his throat. Jiraiya scribbled notes. Good, but next time, less theatrics. Distracted and thinking the fight over, no one was prepared as the leader stood back up. His mouth dirty with some kind of mushroom. His veins bulged with power-colored red like molten lava. Itachi was the first to realize what was about to happen. His body moved before he could think, screaming her name. Izumi. He wouldn't make it in time, and Izumi had only turned to stare in confusion at his desperation. The bandit's gnarly short sword was poised to end her life. In desperation the world slowed down. Itachi's choice was simple, shunshin like he'd seen Shisui do countless times, or lose his friend. The clang of steel next to her ear broke Izumi from her confusion, allowing her to retreat from the confrontation. She landed next to her sensei to watch as Itachi systematically took down the undying berserker. Slice by slice, cut by cut and chop by chop, until a messy flesh pile was all that remained of the bandit. Izumi had only seen desperation in his eyes. Now as he looked at her it was rage. Rage on her behalf. She'd almost died, and it had uncovered a side to Itachi she never thought to see. Itachi overwhelmed with emotion, his one Tomo pair staring desperately at her own 1 and 2 Tomo. The Chunin exams, sparks of war. Konoha's arena thrummed with tension, teams from 5 nations glaring across the sands. Notable teams. Iwagakure. Deidara, a blonde prodigy with clay bombs strapped to his belt, smirked at Itachi. Art's gonna blow your mind, Uchiha. His teammates, a hulking earth user and a silent kunoichi with stone gauntlets, cracked their knuckles. Kumogakure. Yugito Ni, the Jinchuriki of the Nibi, cracked her knuckles. Her teammates, Darui, a lightning wielder, with a lazy grin, and Samui, a stoic censor, scowled at the Leaf teams. Sunagakure. A trio of puppeteers, their creations oozing poison. Preliminary rounds. Yamato vs. Iwa's Earth Specialist. Wood pillars shattered stone fists. Yamato's calm unnerved his opponent into surrender. Izumi vs. Akumo lightning user. Fire clashed with lightning, the arena scorched black. Izumi wins by inches, her hair singed. Itachi vs. Suna's puppeteer. The puppeteer unleashed a spider-like construct dripping venom. Itachi dismantled it with shuriken, pinning the boy's sleeves to the wall. Yield. Deidara vs. Kiri's swordsman. Deidara's clay bird exploded midair, showering the arena with shrapnel. The swordsman fled, screaming. Yugito vs. Hidden Rain Ninja. Yugito's claws ripped through water waves, her Nibi chakra flaring. The match ended with her foot on his chest, his ribs cracked. The third's warning. Hiruzen watched from the shadows. You've lit a fuse, Fugaku. These exams are a powder keg. Fugaku's hand rested on his spear. Let them burn. Konoha will rise from the ashes. Epilogue. Shadows in the storm. In a hidden cave, Orochimaru examined a vial of Yamato's blood. Would release, and Uchiha eyes. How delicious. Danzo's voice echoed from the dark. The exams are your stage. Make sure the cage see Konoha's weakness. Chapter 8. The Ascent of Shadows. The Hokage's crucible, Fugaku's training ground echoed with the crackle of flames and the hum of chakra. Itachi stood before his father, Sharingan active, as Fugaku hurled a barrage of shuriken laced with fire. The boy dodged, weaved, and parried, his movements precise but strained. A father's lesson. Again, Fugaku commanded, his spear, now fused with the ashwood staff, glowing faintly. The Sharingan is not just a tool for seeing. It is a weapon to control the battlefield. Itachi's eyes tracked the next volley of kunai, his single tomo spinning. He mimicked Fugaku's earlier maneuver, redirecting a shuriken into the path of another, sparks flying as steel clashed. Good, Fugaku said, though his tone held no warmth. But speed without strategy is waste. Your enemy will not wait for you to think. He lunged, spear tip blazing. Itachi barely sidestepped, the heat searing his cheek. Fire release. Phoenix flower. Fugaku's flames split into dozens of projectiles. Itachi's Sharingan flared, his hands flying through seals. Water release. Rising torrent. A wall of water erupted, dousing the fire. Steam filled the air. Fugaku's lip twitched, the ghost of approval. Adaptable, but never forget, an Uchiha's true strength lies in the fire within. The Chunin exams. Clash of elements. Konoha's arena pulsed with anticipation, the crowd roaring as the final matches began. Round 1. Yamato vs. Soon as centipede puppeteer, the sand ninja unsealed a monstrous centipede puppet, its segmented body clattering with venom-dripped blades. Yamato stood motionless, hands clasped. Wood release. Bones of the earth technique. Pillars erupted, spearing the puppet's joints. The centipede writhed, impaled. The puppeteer sneered, "You think wood can stop us?" The centipede broke apart into 10 bipedal segments converging on the leaf nin. Yamato's voice was calm. "No, but this can. Wood style. Quick vine jutsu." Vines erupted from the ground ensnaring the individual segments. The vines quickly began rooting into the puppets, eventually destroying their cores. A crunch, the chakra thread severed. The sand ninja collapsed, coughing blood. Winner. Yamato. The arena's roar. The crowd erupted as Yamato's vines strangled the centipede. Leaf, leaf, leaf. Chants drowned out soon as jeers. A sand elder hurled a rotten tomato, splattering the arena wall. The cage's perspective. The 5 cage watched from the elevated booth, their expressions unreadable but their eyes sharp. The Tsuchikage, Onoki, leaned forward as Yamato's wood ensnared soon as centipede puppet. Onoki's grumble. Konoha's wood release, a cheap imitation of Hashirama's legacy, he sneered, though his gaze lingered on Yamato's technique. Could this boy be the next Hashirama? Would Aiwa once again have to suffer the threat of such power? Round 2. Yugito vs. Aiwa's stone fist. The Aiwa brute charged, fists encased in rock. Yugito crouched, pupils slitting. Nibi cloak. Partial transformation. Her hands became claws, tails lashing. She danced around his strikes, shredding stone to gravel. Stand still, cat, he roared, slamming the ground. Spikes erupted, but Yugito was already above him, heel driving into his skull. Winner. Yugito. Yugito vs. Aiwa's stone fist. Aiwa's section roared as their brute charged, but gasps followed Yugito's aerial strike. Cheater. An Aiwa genin screamed. Kumo's fans retaliated. Nibi. Nibi. A's boast. The rakage cracked his knuckles as Yugito's Nibi claws shredded stone. Kumo breeds warriors, not circus animals. Watch and learn, old men. Round 3. Izumi vs. Samui. Samui's blade span while her other hand weaved half seals, reflecting her fireballs back at her. Predictable, Samui muttered, wind chakra creeping up her blades. Izumi grinned, Sharingan spinning. Am I? She feinted left, then hurled a smoke bomb. Samui's wind shattered as Izumi's kunai, wrapped in explosive tags, detonated at her feet. From the smoke Samui charged, looking charred here and there but still in fighting condition. She met Izumi halfway, who'd pulled out a hand-sized metal fan and kunai. The shriek of steel rang throughout the arena as Kumo Kenjutsu fenced Uchiha-style glazing edge. The Sharingan made it so Izumi could be a step too far for her opponent to hit, and just at the edge of her weapons when she attacked. Her fan helped her enhance the quick, small and sealess puffs of fire into viable Kaiden attacks. Samui was calm at the onslaught, using her wind style to negate and even sometimes reflect the fire. She bid her time until the moment came when she sliced through her opponent's kunai at a critical moment and countered with a devastating kick that sent Izumi flying. Samui followed up on her before she could move with a punt to the face. Winner Samui. Azumi's defeat. Konoha fell silent as Samui's blade pinned Azumi's fan. Uchiha flop. Akumo drunkard slurred. Makoto's nails dug into her seat. Round 4. Rain Ninja vs. Mugetsu Hyuzoki. The Rain Ninja's water dragons collided with Mugetsu's liquefied form. You can't drown water. Mugetsu laughed, reforming. No, the Rain Ninja said, hands slamming the ground. Water release. Giant water wave. A wave of water dwarfed over the mist shinobi and washed away, smashing against the arena wall. The Rain Nin huffed in exhaustion, letting his guard down. He was just about to demand the proctor call the match, figuring he'd won. The words never came out. From the water beneath him, Mugetsu reformed and slit the Rain Ninja's throat. Winner. Mugetsu Hyuzoki of the Mist. Mizukage's pride. The fourth Mizukage was robotic as he commented on Mugetsu liquefied. The Mist's new generation is fluid, isn't it? Pity, they'll drown their enemies in their own ambition. Round 5. Darui vs. Mist Swordsman. The Mist Ninja's blade sang, but Darui's lightning was faster. Storm release. Laser circus. Beams of light seared the swordsman's weapon red hot. He dropped it, cursing. Winner. Darui. Round 6. Itachi vs. Deidara. Deidara grinned, molding clay into a swarm of spiders. Art is a boom, yeah. Itachi's Sharingan tracked each spider's trajectory. Shuriken laced with wires sliced through them, detonating the clay mid-air. Annoying. Deidara spat, crafting a bird. C2. Dragon. The explosion shook the arena, but Itachi stood unscathed, having substituted with a log. His kunai pressed to Deidara's throat. Yield. You think it would that simple, huh? Katsu. The clay clone exploded, creating a crater but leaving no evidence of neither Deidara nor Itachi. Suddenly the ground erupted, Itachi jumping away from a clay centipede out of the ground. When he was at his most optimal height, he sealed the release sign, Kai. The ground erupted again, but this time in a barrage of explosive tags until finally one extremely powerful explosion detonated. The centipede stopped chasing Itachi, instead digging into the ground until it pulled out its smoky and burnt master. Deidara was severely injured yet was still alive and staring down the uncaring Uchiha. You demon-eyed bastard, next time I'll kill you. I yield. Winner. Itachi. Ross's silence. The case cage stared blankly as Deidara's explosions lit the arena. Sand stirred in his gourd. Such destruction was unprecedented. Dangerous. Semifinals. The cost of victory. Yamato vs. Yugito. Yugito's claws met Yamato's wood, splinters flying. Wood release. Breaking branch technique. A wooden lance emerged from his stomach, grabbing Yugito and pushing her away. She retaliated, Nibi chakra boiling. Hellfire claw. The branch shattered, but Yamato's true intentions were to contain the half-beast Kunoichi. Wood release. 4 trigram seal of the earth. Wood pillars grew from the earth, forming a pentagon around Ni. The two-tailed host tried attack the barrier first, but that didn't work, figuring fire would win over wood. She attacked by channeling as much fire as possible. Going from orange, which charred the wood, to blue, which ignited the wood, breaking the barrier. Yugito, now in mini-beast form, attacked with inhuman ferocity. Yamato tried all he can to stop her, but he just couldn't match her firepower even with the Mokuden drawing chakra from the beast. I yield, he shouted to the proctor who landed on the beast, figuring he'd rather live than die due to stubbornness. 1 foot from Metagai was enough to keep the beast down until Yugito could control herself. Winner. Ni Yugito. Samui vs. Mugetsu. Mugetsu's watery form dodged Samui's blade, but her sensor skills predicted his movements. Wind release. Twin dragons. The twin serpents smashed into him, sending dust and water all over. Waiting for the proctor and holding her guard, Samui observed her surroundings for a sign. After so many battles, the arena was but a muddy mess. You might want to quit now. None of that has any chance of stopping me. I usually let the pretty ones have a chance to live before moving them on to the next life. Mugetsu taunted, hands in his pockets as he casually leaned against the arena wall. Feeling humiliated, she wanted to lash out, however she remained calm and evaluated the situation. Winning a fight like this was beyond her abilities, and yet she couldn't dishonor her village, Kunoichi everywhere, and especially herself. Taking a step forward about to attack, she had to immediately try to dodge as Mugetsu drew his hands akimbo style and fired a bullet of concentrated water. One missed, the other catching her shoulder, forcing her to the ground bleeding. Winner. Mugetsu. Darui vs. Hidden Mist Swordsman. The swordsman's twin blades blurred, but Darui's giant sword was just as fast. A lightning attack just as the mist swordsman was counter-attacking struck him, ending the match. Winner. Darui. Itachi vs. Hidden Waterfall Ninja. The Waterfall Ninja's torrents evaporated under Itachi's flames. Fire release. Great Fireball. Winner. Itachi. Final rounds. The weight of a leaf. Yugito vs. Mugetsu. Yugito's nibby tails whipped through Mugetsu's liquid form, but he reformed, laughing. Pathetic cat. You can't kill water. Yugito's eyes narrowed. No, but I can boil it. Her chakra ignited, a stream of blue fire scalding Mugetsu's core. He screamed, collapsing into a puddle. Winner. Yugito. Fugaku's resolve. The Hokage's grip tightened on his spear. Konoha's fire burns brightest under pressure, he said, earning sidelong glances. Let them doubt, let them fear. Darui vs. Itachi. Darui's lightning clashed with Itachi's flames, the arena a storm of elements. Storm release. Laser Fang. Itachi's Sharingan predicted the path. He ducked, hurling a kunai that severed Darui's headband. Surprised at the speed and accuracy of the throw, he took a step back. You're something else, brat. I guess I need to take you seriously. The hidden cloud shinobi flashed forward using Shunshin Jutsu. Unlike most, Itachi was prepared, many times having practiced against such advanced applications. The swordsman struck wood as Itachi replaced himself. Shuriken were thrown at Darui, forcing him to move. His pattern of evasion was just random enough to allow him to evade the ninja stars and the wires connecting them. Weaving hand signs to finish the fight. Storm release. Laser circus. Beams of light pounded the area the young Uchiha had been standing on, creating a smoke cloud. When the smoke cleared, Itachi was still standing a water wall, having negated the storm release. Itachi weaved hand signs while Darui used Shunshin again to close the distance. His sword bisecting the boy as he completed his final sign. Hidden art. Crow Nightwalker Jutsu. The body Darui bisected turned into a murder of crows flocking about the arena before reforming into Itachi's lower half. The upper half was a cloud of crows and feathers, making him look like a tree with legs clouded in darkness. Darui was intimidated by the sight and decided to retreat, but Itachi closed in with speed, the wave of darkness around him enveloping Darui. In the darkness the crows screeched a maddening sound. At the corner of his eye, there the boy was. He slashed with his sword but no body fell. All around him was darkness, the screeching and the specter of Itachi. The torment ended with a scratch on his throat. Yield, Itachi panted. Darui grinned. Not bad, kid. Winner. Itachi. Itachi's triumph. When Itachi disarmed Darui, the stadium shook. Prince of Shadows. Konoha's cry unified the chaos. Even a nodded grudgingly. Not bad, runt. Grand final. Itachi vs. Yugito. The crowd fell silent as the Nibi's chakra cloaked Yugito, her form half feline. You're good, Uchiha, but I won't lose to a child. Itachi's Sharingan spun. Age doesn't define strength. Yugito lunged, claws tearing earth. Itachi evaded, weaving signs. Fire release. Phoenix flower. The flames forced Yugito back, but she retaliated with a chakra blast. Itachi's substitution jutsu saved him, barely. Exhaustion weighed on both, but Itachi's eyes never wavered. A feint, a kunai to her blind spot. Yugito grabbed the kunai, pulling him in for a searing slash of her claws. Itachi ducked backwards, releasing the weapon and sliding beneath her swipe. Using his arms he sprang up over her head to land silently behind Yugito, who had to turn to find Itachi, who wasn't there. Yugito froze, Itachi's blade at her throat. Winner of the tournament, Itachi Uchiha, the Prince of the Long Shadow. The crowd erupted at their shinobi coming out top. The Roots Gambit. The arena's jubilant cheers for Itachi's victory curdled into screams as the first explosion erupted. A section of the eastern stands collapsed in a hail of splintered wood and smoke, revealing 20 Root agents, their faces masked and cursed seals pulsing like diseased hearts. Panic erupted as spectators stampeded, trampling one another in their desperation to flee. The Chimera's descent. From the chaos, a grotesque figure lunged onto the arena floor, a Hyuga Uchiha Chimera. Its body was a patchwork horror. Pale Byakugan eyes spinning with stolen Sharingan Tomo, skeletal claws protruding from hands fused with Uchiha fire seals. The creature's mouth stretched too wide, revealing fangs dripping with acidic saliva. Kill the Uchiha, it hissed in a voice that was neither human nor beast, charging at Itachi with a speed that blurred the air. Yamato's shield. Yamato reacted first. Wood release. Guardian wall. A lattice of thick timber erupted between Itachi and the Chimera, splintering as the creature's claws tore through it. Izumi's hands flew into seals. Fire release. Dragon flame bullet. A spiraling inferno engulfed the chimera, but it emerged unscathed, its skin bubbling and reforming. Regeneration. Izumi gasped. Like Orochimaru's experiments, Yamato muttered, recalling the lab horrors they'd uncovered. Itachi's revelation. The chimera lunged again, Byakugan tracking Izumi's retreat. Itachi's Sharingan flared, catching a flicker of humanity beneath the monstrosity's snarl, a girl's face, twisted in pain, buried under layers of grafted flesh. It's a person, Itachi said, voice tight. A victim. We need to subdue it, alive. The chimera shrieked, unleashing a pseudo-gentle fist. 8 trigrams vacuum palm, the air pressure cratering the arena floor. Izumi barely dodged, her arm bleeding from a glancing strike. The Genjutsu gambit. Itachi weaved through the onslaught, fingers flickering. Sharingan. Mirage of the Blossom Grove. The chimera froze mid-lunge, its stolen Sharingan drowning in a vision of cherry blossoms, a memory from its past life. A girl, no older than Itachi, laughing under a tree with a younger sister. The chimera's claws trembled, retracting. Now, Itachi barked. Yamato's would release. Binding roots ensnared the creature, while Izumi sealed its limbs with explosive tags set to stun. The chimera collapsed, whimpering. The Hokage's trial. In the cage booth, Fugaku's Sharingan flared crimson as Fu Yamanaka's mind-controlled jutsu slithered toward him. Fu's betrayal. Mind-body switch. Fu's consciousness lunged, only to recoil as Fugaku's mental defenses scorched his psyche. And no, his mind is a furnace. Torun's venom. Torun Aburame unleashed a swarm of Rinkaichu, venomous insects bred to devour chakra. But before they reached Fugaku, a molten copper blur intercepted the Soraku matriarch asterisk, her fire breath reducing the swarm to ash. You dare! Fugaku's voice boomed, the ashwood spear igniting in his grip. Fire release. Phoenix vortex. The stored chakra within the spear erupted, a tornado of golden flames engulfing the root traders. Fu and Torun screamed as their cursed seals burned out, collapsing like marionettes with severed strings. The cage's reactions. Fourth Mizukage, Yagura. The young Jinchuriki stared blankly, his grip tightening on his coral staff. A distraction, he muttered, as if reciting a script. Behind him, a masked Anbu Obito in disguise subtly guided him toward the exit. Rasa, fourth cage gold dust swirled around him, shielding his entourage. Konoha's instability is a liability, he sneered, though his eyes flickered with unease. Onoki, third Tsuchikage, HMPH. Not bad for a clan of pyromaniacs, he grumbled, floating above the chaos. But this circus is why Iowa stays neutral. Fourth Raikage crackling with lightning, he shoved debris aside. Uchiha, clean up your mess, before I do it for you. Crowd chaos. In the stands, a civilian mother shielded her daughter under a bench, sobbing as root agents clashed with Konoha Anbu. A merchant from Tea Country fainted, clutching his prized hat. Nearby, Asuna Genin hurled kunai at a root agent, screaming, "This isn't what I signed up for." Aftermath. The Hokage's resolve. Fugaku stood amid the rubble, the chimera sedated at his feet. The Soraku matriarch prowled nearby, her clan of fire-breathing cats purring with lethal intent. Secure the creature, Fugaku ordered. And find Danzo. This ends now. As medics tended to the wounded, the cage departed under heavy guard, Rasa's gold dust glinting with suspicion, Yagura's steps eerily mechanical. Itachi's burden. Itachi knelt beside the chimera, a blanket draped over its shivering form. We'll find some way to help you, he whispered. Yamato placed a hand on his shoulder. Not all monsters choose to be monsters. Promotion in peril. Under the Hokage's gaze, Itachi and Yamato received their Chunin vests. Izumi, though victorious, was denied promotion, her recklessness noted. Next time, Jiraiya warned, think before you burn. The end. Come back for part 3. And remember to please like, subscribe and comment.